There's a controller in your head. Yep. An invisible hand that's guiding your decisions, capping your potential, and literally writing the script of your life. And the crazy part is, you probably don't even know it's there. So in this explainer, we are going to unmask it.
Okay, let me ask you something. And I want you to be totally honest with yourself for a sec. Are you really in the driver's seat of your own life? Or is it possible you're just a passenger, just along for the ride in a car that's heading somewhere you never even chose? I mean, just think about it for a second. You wake up every morning, maybe you hit snooze a couple of times, maybe you don't. You drag yourself out of bed, and the day just starts. Pretty much exactly like yesterday, right? And you go through the motions. You follow all the same old patterns. You even have the exact same thoughts, right? The same worries, the same little self-doubts, just playing on a loop in your head. And sure, it's comfortable, it's predictable, but is it really you? Because deep down, there's that nagging feeling, isn't there? That little voice that tells you something just feels off. Like you're just an actor playing a part, reading lines from a script that you never, ever wrote. That feeling of being stuck? Yeah, that's the script. So here's what's so fascinating. This script, it's not random at all. It's more like a program, a piece of code that was installed in your brain when you were young. From the praise you got, the failures you went through, all those labels people stuck on you. And today, we're going to unmask that program. All right, so it's time to meet the controller. The psychologist Carol Dweck from Stanford calls it the fixed mindset. And this is it right here. It's the core belief that, well, you are who you are, and that's the end of the story. Your talents, your smarts, your abilities, they're all just carved in stone. And man, is it a powerful, self-fulfilling prophecy. And just look at how this thing plays out in real life. On one side, you've got the script of the fixed mindset. We're talking avoiding challenges, giving up way too easily, feeling threatened by other people's success. It's basically a life lived on defense. But on the other side, that's the growth mindset. That's a life lived on offense. It's all about learning. It's about evolving. So which one of those columns feels a little more familiar? And here's the crucial point. This invisible script, it builds very real walls. This isn't just some feel-good, abstract idea. No, actual psychological studies have shown that the fixed mindset creates a literal prison around your potential. Okay, so let's dive into the evidence. First up, we've got the puzzle experiment. It was a really simple setup, but the results were, well, they were profound. So here's what happened. Researchers gave some students a pretty simple puzzle. After they finished, they praised half of them for being so smart, and the other half for their hard work. Simple enough. But then they offered them a choice for the next round, a really easy puzzle or a much harder one. And guess what? The overwhelming majority of the smart kids, they chose the easy one. Why would they do that? Because that fixed mindset script started whispering in their ear. Hey, don't risk it. If you fail, everyone will know you're not actually smart. So they chose the safety of that prison cell over any chance for real growth. All right, let's look at the next study, because this is where it gets even more interesting. This one really focused on how these two mindsets handle failure, which, let's be honest, is a huge part of any real success. So in a follow-up, the students who were praised for just being naturally talented saw failure completely differently. For them, it wasn't a chance to learn something new. Nope, it was a final verdict. It was a judgment on who they are. And get this, a shocking number of them actually lied about their scores, all to protect that fragile, gifted label. It just shows you how brutal the script's logic is. You either have it or you don't. That's it. And this all brings us to a pretty chilling truth. This one single belief. The idea that you are a finished product, that your potential has a ceiling, that is the most dangerous belief you can possibly have. It's literally the lock on the door of your own psychological prison. So yeah, that's the prison. But here's the good news. Knowing about the prison also reveals the key to getting out. The second you realize that you are not a finished product, that's the moment the walls start to crumble. It's time to talk about rewriting your code. And look, embracing a growth mindset isn't just about positive thinking. It's not that simple. It is a full-on declaration of war against your controller. It's the conscious, deliberate act of grabbing the pen out of its hand and starting to write your own story. One challenge, one setback, and one lesson at a time. So, okay, how do you actually do this? Well, it's a pretty simple three-step process. First, you've got to identify the thought.
That voice that says, I can't do this, or, oh, I'm just not a math person. You have to hear it and name it. Step 2, challenge it. Ask yourself, wait a minute, is that actually true? Or is that just the old script playing on repeat? And finally, step 3, reframe it. You consciously replace it. So I can't do this becomes, I can't do this yet. And I failed becomes, I learned something.
All right, so now you have the key. The escape plan is in your hands. But this is where the real work begins. Because honestly, unmasking your own controller, that's just step 1. This whole mission, it's much bigger than just you.
I mean, just look around you. Your friends, your family, people you work with. There are millions and millions of absolutely brilliant people out there living their entire lives inside these psychological prisons, and they have no idea. They're completely unaware that they're holding the key to their own cell in their own hand.
Seriously, think of one person right now, someone you care about, who says things like, oh, I'm just not a creative person, or nah, it's way too late for me to change careers. Someone you can see actively avoiding challenges and making their own world smaller and smaller.
Now look, you can't rewrite their script for them. Nobody can. But what you can do is show them that the script even exists. You can give them the ideas, the tools to start their own unmasking. So sharing this explainer, it isn't just a click. It's an act of liberation. It's like handing a key to a prisoner who didn't even know they were locked up. Look, this script is powerful, for sure, but it is not unbreakable. You've seen the controller now, you have the escape plan. So the only question left really is, who will you unmask next?